I'm your host, Hugo Alejandro Pedrosa. Today, we're going to ask and answer questions about the work people do.
Hello, Ann. How are you?
Okay, I guess. How about you?
Not bad, not bad.
Jose, do you like your job?
It's okay. I'm a dishwasher. I wash dishes. But it's not a bad job. I just have other plans.
Other plans?
I'm going to be a lawyer. Someday. I'll go to school. It'll be hard work and expensive. But it's my dream to be a lawyer. But what about you? We all know how much you love your job. Did you used to work as a waitress in Vietnam?
No, here I'm a waitress. In Vietnam, I was a florist. I had my own shop. I tell you, I'm not going to be in the restaurant business forever.
What do you want to do?
I want to have my own business again. I've worked with plants and flowers all my life. My husband and I could work together to run our own shop.
What's going on here? The customers are waiting, and my beautiful scrambled eggs are getting cold.
We're all talking about how much we love our jobs.
I have 2 jobs, and I don't love either of them.
I have to get back to work.
2 jobs.
2 jobs and the night school. I work as a cook part-time, and I do piecework in a clothing factory downtown. It's not an easy life, but I'm making plans to make it better.
What kind of plans?
Well, I used to be a radio announcer in Moscow, but I lost my job and then we came here. It might sound silly, but I always wanted to be a television news reporter. I know I could do it. I just have to meet the right people.
Hey, Sonia, like the job or not, you better get back to it. The boss just walked in.
Right. Why am I dreaming? See you, Jose.
Don't work too hard.
Hello and welcome back. My name's Barbara Witz and I'll be your teacher today. Let's talk about what we just saw. Jose, Ann, and Sonia work in a restaurant. Do you remember what they do? What does Jose do? That's right, he's a dishwasher. What about Ann? What does she do? Yes, she's a waitress. And Sonia, what does she do? Yes, she's a cook. Do you remember what they want to be? Does Jose want to be a lawyer? Yes, he does. Does Ann want to own her own restaurant? No, she doesn't. She wants to own her own flower shop. What does Sonia want to do? That's right, she wants to be a television news reporter. Do you like talking about your job and your future plans? How do you answer when people ask you, what do you do? What do you say when people ask you what your future plans are? Let's listen to the conversation between Maria and Mrs. Lopez. Pay close attention to what they say. What did Mrs. Lopez do back in Mexico? What does Mrs. Lopez work as now? Does Maria think her grandmother works too hard? Watch and listen.
Oh, Grandma, let me help you. I can't wait to get on the bus this morning. I get 3 buses, and 2 buses are always late.
Grandma, why do you work so hard? Grandma, I don't want you to work anymore.
This work is easy. I worked for 35 years as a nurse in Mexico. I worked for the doctors. I helped the patients when they needed me. That was really hard work.
But Grandma, now you're a sewing machine operator. You work all day in that terrible place, and then you come back here and you work at night too? Grandma, please, I don't want you to work anymore.
I'm gonna find another job. You know I have to work.
Alaska,
enseñé?
Oh.
Ay, ay, ay.
Are you gonna be
Hello.
Ay, everything's okay.
okay? My name is Jose. I live upstairs.
Oh, I'm Mrs. Lopez. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Maria. Hi.
Thank you for warning me.
Let's talk about what you just saw. Do you remember Maria and Mrs. Lopez's conversation? Is Mrs. Lopez Maria's mother? No, she isn't. She's Maria's grandmother. What did Mrs. Lopez do in Mexico? That's right, she was a nurse. What does Mrs. Lopez work at now? That's right, she's a sewing machine operator. Does Maria think her grandmother works too hard? Yes, she does. What happens in the Lopez's kitchen? That's right, there's a fire. Do they call the fire department? No, they don't. Who comes to help them? That's right, Jose does. He's their neighbor. Mrs. Lopez is going to ask Jose about his job, and Jose will ask Maria about hers. Listen carefully. Is Maria a computer expert? Who is Jose going to see tomorrow? Let's watch and listen.
That's it.
What do you do, Jose?
I work in a restaurant.
What do you do in the restaurant?
I work in the kitchen.
Are you a cook?
No, I'm not.
What do you do?
So many questions.
She's a computer expert.
That's not true. I'm learning how to do computers.
Oh, what kind of job do you have?
I'm a receptionist. I answer phones. It's easy.
That sounds difficult.
It's boring. What I really want to do is word processing. It's more challenging and pays better too. Someday I hope to own my own word processing business and work out of my home. But I have to go to school for word processing.
Yeah, I also want to learn how to use a computer. Because I want to work in a law office.
Well, why do you want to work in a law office?
I want to help my people understand the law. Someday I hope to be a lawyer.
Maria can teach you about computers.
Well, actually, I'm going to see a counselor tomorrow about computer classes.
Oh, really? Do you think they could help my grandmother with nursing? She was a nurse in Mexico.
Well, sure, she can come and see for herself.
Maybe they have some information for you.
We already know that Jose is a dishwasher. Does Mrs. Lopez know that? No, she doesn't. Mrs. Lopez says that Maria is a computer expert. Is that true? No, it isn't. Maria's learning to use computers. What is Maria's job? That's right, she's a receptionist. Would Maria like to have her own word processing business? Yes, she would. She would like to start one from her home. Who is Jose going to see tomorrow? That's right, he's going to see a counselor about computer classes. Does Jose invite Mrs. Lopez to come with him? Yes, he does. We're going to practice repeating questions our friends ask each other about work. Let's start with Mrs. Lopez. When Mrs. Lopez asks Jose a question, you'll have time to repeat it. If you need more time, you can always press the pause button.
What do you do, Jose?
I work in a restaurant.
What do you do in the restaurant?
I work in the kitchen.
Are you a cook?
No, I'm not.
Well, what do you do?
Now listen to Jose talk to Maria. Again, repeat the questions you hear.
Oh, what kind of job do you have?
I'm a receptionist. I answer phones. It's easy. And why do you want to work in a law office?
I want to help my people understand the law. Someday I hope to be a lawyer.
Oh, really? Do you think I could help my grandmother with nursing? She was a nurse in Mexico.
Oh, sure, she can come and see for herself.
Very good. Now let's practice answering these questions. Listen to the question, then listen to the different answers. Repeat the answers. What kind of job do you have?
I work as a receptionist for a small company.
I'm a waitress.
I'm a dishwasher.
I'm a sewing machine operator.
What do you do?
I wash dishes.
I sew.
I take orders from the customers.
I answer phones.
We've heard some questions people can ask about occupations. There are many different ways to answer. Sometimes people give their occupations by telling where they work.
I work in a restaurant.
I work in a factory.
Sometimes people give their occupation by naming the job.
I'm a dishwasher.
I'm a waitress.
And sometimes people give their occupation by saying what they do.
I answer phones.
I sew.
Practice answering these questions with your own information. What's your occupation?
I'm a salesperson.
Where do you work?
I work in a shoe store.
What do you do?
I sell shoes.
Listen to these questions. Answer with your own information. Remember, if you don't have a job right now, you can talk about being a student. Look for the words who, where, or what. Where do you work? What do you do exactly? What's your job? Where are you working? What kind of work do you do? Rewind the tape to the beginning of this section for more practice. This is the focused listening section of the lesson. You will need your worksheet or a piece of paper and a pencil. Many times you hear information, but you're not exactly sure you heard the information correctly. In the next section of our lesson, you will practice listening for specific information, and then you will check your accuracy. Today we're going to listen to information about job training programs. You will listen, take notes, and then check again. Today we're going to hear 3 conversations. Ann, Jose, and Mrs. Lopez are talking to a counselor about job training programs. You have a chart like this. You can see Ann's, Jose's, and Mrs. Lopez's names down the side. Now look at the boxes across the top of the chart. If you don't have a worksheet, copy the words in the boxes on your paper. Let's review the information in the boxes. The first box says high school diploma. If a counselor says a high school diploma is required, circle yes. If not, circle no. The next box says computer courses. If the counselor says a job requires computer courses, circle yes. If the counselor doesn't talk about computer courses, circle no. The last box says examination/license. If the counselor says that it is necessary to take a test or get a license during the training, circle yes. Look at the first column. Who will talk to the counselor first? Ann, that's right. The no is circled in the box. What does that mean? No, she doesn't need a high school diploma for her job training. Number 1, listen to the conversation. Number 2, circle the correct information on the worksheet or take notes on your paper. Number 3, stop the tape. Number 4, rewind the tape and replay the conversation to check your answers. Watch and listen.
It says here you want to own your own business.
Yes, I want to own my own flower shop. Right now I'm not making enough money and I don't like working for someone else.
Owning a business. That's a very ambitious long-term goal. It might take you quite a while to complete that one. You know what you should do? You should start with a short-term goal, such as completing our module of business education courses.
Well, that will take several years, won't it?
Well, the program takes 1.5 years and covers several areas of business. You'll need to take business office skills and accounting, and you'll want to take computer applications like database management. No small business owner should be without some computer skills.
Do I need to have any type of test to have my own business in this state?
No, Ann. You're going to need a lot of information and a lot of money. There are no examinations or licenses required for small business owners.
Does the counselor recommend computer classes to Ann? Yes, she does. Will Ann need to take an exam or get a license? No, she won't. Rewind the tape and play it again to check your answers. Now, watch Jose's conversation with the counselor.
Well, tell me what I can do for you.
Well, I want to learn how to use computers. Well, I want to work in a law office. Well, I want to learn how to use computers and be a lawyer someday.
Let me see your information sheet.
This?
Yes. I see your long-term goal is to be a lawyer. But your short-term goal is to learn computer skills and to get a job in a law office. You want to save money for law school and become a lawyer.
Yes, that's it.
Well, we have many computer classes here. Our school offers data entry, electronic spreadsheets, and word processing. It'll take you about 2 years to complete the entire program.
Do I need a high school diploma to start?
No, but you'll have to take a typing class, and you'll have to pass with at least 30 words per minute.
Oh, I don't know anything about computers or typing.
Well, let's enroll you in the basic keyboarding class. That's where you'll learn to type. And once you're typing quickly enough, then we can enroll you in the data entry class. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds great.
Will Jose require a high school diploma? No, he won't. Did the counselor recommend computer classes? Yes, she did. Will Jose have to take an exam or get a license? Yes, he has to take a typing test. Rewind the tape and play it again to check your answers.
Tell me, what can I help you with?
Well, I was a nurse in my country, but I work as a sewing machine operator in a factory, and I hate it. I want to work in a hospital again. I'm too old.
You're never too old to learn. You might try to start as a nursing assistant. We have a short course in the nursing assistance program and a longer vocational nursing program. You get practical experience in the field because you work in a local hospital. And it's not necessary to have a high school diploma to enroll in the nursing assistance program.
I went to high school and college in my country, but that was many years ago.
Well, we can wait for the transcripts to be sent from your country, and in the meantime, you can enroll in the nursing assistance program.
But you don't need a high school diploma to become a nursing assistant?
No, but you have to take the class and pass an examination and get a certificate. But don't worry, that's no problem with a person of your background.
Does Mrs. Lopez need a high school diploma? No, she doesn't. Did the counselor recommend any computer classes? No, she didn't. Will Mrs. Lopez need to take an exam or get a license? Yes. Check your paper. Do you have these answers? Rewind the tape and play it again to check your answers. Remember, you can rewind the tape to the beginning to review this week's lesson.
Thanks for taking the time to study with us today. In this lesson, you learned how to talk about your job. In the next lesson, our friends will talk about the jobs they had and the jobs they want. In the meantime, keep on putting English to work.